Shalom, shalom. Just give me a moment. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which rule well. Peace and much love, honors and blessings, salutations to the elect of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, which continue to hold their conduct, composure, and integrity through patience. All right, as you see in the title, if patience has taught me anything, because I was looking over, a couple of videos. Yesterday's class, we had class yesterday and we did a live sit down, and it came into the return of Yahushai, he's coming. But then at the last part of the segment of the lesson, we admonished Jake, and patience, man, and Shalom, by the way, that patience, is always a topic that's always being brought around. I mean, the scriptures do tell well about patience, man. We live in a time where your endurance is being tested at all times, and that's endurance is to make hard. So we live in a ruthless and a cruel generation. People that don't give a fuck about your boundaries or what you're dealing with, or what you believe. And that can be trying. That can test patience, because patience doesn't just go into, I'm going to sit here and just wait. Patience is a practice, man. And that's why the scriptures, the scriptures do call it the fruit of the Spirit, but you've heard that saying, patience is a virtue. So I did a little looking up today just to see what the world wanted to say about patience. It was talking about being able to express more empathy, not be hasty, in a situation, which allows you to really evaluate, more clearly, or examine Salakia. And, like the title says, if patience has taught me anything, man, in the time that I've been in this truth, the days I've been with, man, first of all, man, each brother, man, I'm sure can tell you, like, you don't know what they've gone through, man. Every brother has gone through a trial of you don't know what we dealt with, man. You know how Jake, man, starts a story like, man, you ain't gonna believe this. Hey, man, we've all had a very trying time in this time. I mean, we're being challenged with the fight for eternal life. So that's gonna be very trying. It's gonna be very, very laborious. So it was something I wanted to talk about, while I was driving. I'm just driving. I'm going to go into town. I may lose y'all in a dead zone up here, but it'll come right back. But I was remembering, when I first came into this truth, man, like when I first got this understanding. And, I remember at the time that I came into this truth, the pig flu, which y'all should know what I'm saying, YouTube, censors and shit. But back in like 2008, 2009, you had the pig flu. And man, I remember seeing commercials, or not commercials, but news reports of like other countries and some states that were in kind of some chaos, man, because of this plan, what. And I remember looking back. I remember I was scared. And this is back, like I said, in like 2009, man. I thought it was the end of the world, And I was thinking about situations or places where I could go to hide if I had to, or get off the grid. But it wasn't time. That's the thing. Because really what we're doing is, like the scripture says, I got 3 miles to drive, and it's gonna break up, and the signal is gonna get weak. But as soon as I get out around that corner, my signal will come back. So y'all can bear with me, you know. But anyway, like I was saying, man, like the scriptures talk about bearing the indignation of the Lord, you know, and also how the Lord's timing is not what men counts as, you know, real, you know, true time. Because really there is no such thing as time. We already know that, you know. But with the Lord, you know, he has a lot of things already planned or scheduled to work on, or to commit or to complete, you know, while in the process of, like, you know, coming to save Israel, you know, coming to save the elect. You know, he has to put the heathen in their place. You know, he has to work marvelous works to make the world. There's a scripture where it talks about, you know, there it goes. It's a lot, man. Maybe about a mile, and then the signal should come back. It's gonna keep on happening, man. I'm almost into the city. I got this curve I gotta go around real quick, about a mile, then we're good. But anyways, you know, recalling that account where I thought, you know, the world was ended, you know, and I didn't really have understanding to know what I really had to do or what I had to really get in place. You know, to be honest, to really think about it, you know, I thought I was going to deliver myself, you know, but the scriptures don't talk about any man coming to deliver himself. All right, because by the end of, you know, the deliverance with the elect, there's not going to be any individual that takes the claim that they got themselves out of Babylon, or that they got themselves on that chariot. All right, you know, the Lord tells you he's going to come back and he's going to judge every man according to their doings, and that's what's going to allow you. There we go. All right, the signal shouldn't drop anymore. I should be good. You know, how Ratazah, man. So, anyways, let me get back on what I was saying. So, like I was saying, though, man, like, you know, the Lord is commanding us in this time to work, and that work comes through suffering, comes through the labor and the works that you put out via the internet, going out in the highways and hedges, committing as a good steward, all right, acting on the behalf of who the world called God and Jesus, which the names are Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, but representing them in a good fashion, despite what the world is doing. You know, I said something to a brother the other day, and I was just, you know, talking on my ass. I was speaking as a fool, man. But I was like, why can't the Lord, you know, just come and do everything right now? But while he's destroying everything, he tells everybody all at once, like, look, this is why this is happening. And the brother, you know, he's laughing. I'm like, if only it could happen like that, but it's not, man. You're not going to yield the pure harvest fruit of anything just, you know, by snap of the fingers, man. It takes time. And that's what patience does to a man. You're more likely to appreciate the yielded peaceable fruit. You're more likely to appreciate whatever factor is, you know, going on, because you had to suffer through it. You had to suffer and wait when you really wanted it. And so when you're able to get that gratification, all right, you know, when you finally get it, it's that much sweeter. All right. You know, we've been dealing with a lot of trouble in this time. All right. Even Paul said the days are short and the days of trouble are at hand. And like I said from the beginning, you know, that patience, that the ability to tolerate delay through trouble is heavily tested against Jake, man. Because think about it. For thousands of years now, you know, for the last 5,000 years, I'll say, 'cause I believe that's how long man has been on the planet. If I'm not mistaken, you know, if I'm not correct and if someone does know, you can post it, you know, but I believe it's been for like the last 5,000-6,000 years, if I'm not mistaken. We've only been on the planet for like that long. The earth in all, I think, is like 14,000 years, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? But for the time that mankind has been on the planet, we've never shown some type of sentiment of patience. When you look at our people, you know, they were hasty to want what they wanted, so they turned to other nations. You know, they went to it. They, you know, scripture say that they went into a way that was not good. You know, they went to other philosophies. You know, which the word philosophy goes into the Greek philosophia, or it's philos and sophia, which is philosophia. It literally sounds like philosophia, which that's the name of wisdom. But philosophy literally means another pursuit of wisdom. And the wisdom, you know, the Lord told us that this was our wisdom. The understanding, the proper integrity of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, that's our understanding and wisdom. But because it requires us to put a little effort and strength and sincerity to our actions, you know, Israel, you know, capped out, man. And so, you know, that's why the Lord, you know, in this time, he's making sure things are right, you know. He's making sure that this ain't going to happen again, which even if he didn't do it this way, man, guaranteed he ain't going to have no problem putting things in order. All right. The Lord is, you know, the Almighty, man. He's the King of all things, and nobody can tell him what to do. Which brings me to the precept where it was in Job, when Job's, you know, basically the Lord communed with Job and was like, you know, shouldest thou recompense it according to thy mind or to my will? And he says, whether thou refuse or accept, you know, it shall be done. Basically, I'm correlating that to, you know, it's not, what's going on is not on our time. It's not our agenda. It's not, you know, what we intended to happen. Because believe me, man, every brother, man, if we could have it our way, we wish that Babylon would be destroyed this very moment. You know, every brother I ever talked to, man, all the time, we're always talking about, like, God damn, man, like, I can't, you know, the Lord hurry up, or damn, like, what? This shit taking fucking forever, man. Fuck Babylon, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know? Not a day goes by where the men of the Lord, you know, Lord willing, we are of that number. We want this place to be destroyed. We want it to, man. But the Lord said he had a process. You know, 2 Esdras, the 4th chapter, where it talked about, you know, turning everything upside down. Well, that's what destruction is. Destructuralizing. See, the Lord has to, I got this, I'm getting this from Thanos right now. He said this in Avengers Endgame. He said, as long as there are those that remember what was, I can't remember what he said to that, but basically the Lord, he talks about making Babylon a desolation. And you people, he's going to grind you to powder, man. He's going to beat you to powder. There's going to be no remembrance or memorial of you as well. I mean, you can find that as well in Job about the heritage of a wicked man. You know, so like I said, there's a lot of things that have to be done, man. The Lord has to make sure that there's no residue, no memory of this wicked society, man. It only will come through, you know, pure destruction. Because that fire, we already know, is going to purge this whole place, you know? So, you know, which brings me back to the reason why we got to have patience. It's not about our mind. It's not what we're thinking about. It's not how we want it, okay? The Lord is working many things at the same time, all right? He's working destruction while working deliverance, all right? He's working death while he's working salvation, okay? And these are all balancing each other out, because in the mix of it, you got those that, you know, are being given chances over and over again. So you can't say that the Lord was unfair, all right? Because you have those people, and the Lord is extending his hand to, you know, Israel to a point where if they get an opportunity to hear the words of the Heavenly Father and they despise it, and he comes, you know, that's a chance, okay? But the Lord is giving everybody a fair chance. You know, while he's bringing this destruction, man, while he's bringing his will, okay, we just got to sit tight and wait for it. You know, like I brought out the example earlier about, you know, when I thought back in 2009, man, the pig flu, you know, I thought it was the end of this place, man. Things were amping up. Things really were, you know, getting a little hot, but things died down. Then you had, you know, other, you know, so-called, you know, I'll say demics. You had other crises, the poly crisis. All right. You know, we thought that it could be it. It wasn't. It died down. You know, who said it? But the end is not yet. I can't remember if that was Yahweh Shai or one of the men who wrote one of the scriptures, man. I know it was somebody, obviously, but the end is not yet. You know, shit. I thought when Trump got in office, man, I thought, oh, yeah, it's definitely time, man. It's definitely the end of the fucking world. You know, but then they got, you know, Sloppy Joe, man. And the way that he's working, it does seem like things are, you know, things have definitely picked up in the time, man. But over the years, you know, we thought it could be it now. It could be now. It could be now. But really, you got to ask yourself, man, do you honestly believe that you're fully ready? See, the Lord is, you know, the scriptures talk about the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth. The Lord, you know, every day he doesn't bring this place down. Actually, man, it's a blessing. All right, it's mercy, because that's another day for you to solidify your spirit, man. Lord willing, if you work in the right way, and the Lord, you know, is dealing, you know, that's more time for you to get your grips, you know, and really get yourself in order. Because, you know, to have the perfect integrity when Yahweh Shai really brings us, you know, brings the destruction. When he brings Jacob's trouble, when the MOTB is finally being, you know, pushed. You know, yeah, right now it's being, you know, slightly promoted here and there, you know. But you know, the scriptures talk about lifting up a standard. You know, which a standard is really an extremely plain sign. You know, the Lord, it tells you in Sirach that all the Lord's ways are plain unto the holy, but they are stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Now, that's not to say that the Lord's not going to bring an actual, like, extremely plain sign to us that, like, it's not safe. These crises events, you know, with the sea, you know what, you know, and you know, we thought it could have been it then. You know, there was a time, I can't remember where it was happening, but there was like extreme homelessness. Whenever the mega corona, I'm gonna say it like that. You know, whenever that hit, you know, it was a lot of jobs. You know, that the grind was ceasing, right? It looked like the grind was ceasing. Thousands of people were, you know, going into unemployment, and then, you know, people weren't trying to go back to work. Esau was showing that he was getting tired. You know, there was microchips in the vodka, you know. But, you know, we're still here, you know. You know, Apostle Tahar, man, made a video. He made a video, I think, like a year and a half ago, man, maybe 2 years. And it was basically about, you know, he was saying, like, we may have to get off the grid soon. Now, are we off the grid yet? No. Have we been getting more prepared since these flare-ups of signs and potential, you know, I don't even want to call it end times, but like potential, I don't even know what to say, Salakia, you know? But each time one of these crisis events occurs, we do tighten up more and more. The Spirit revisits certain topics, certain things, because we see the devil's play. We see his aim. See, we know that Esau too is waiting. He's scared. He really is. Because he knows once he does this, man, you know, that's it. Which, you know, Elder Ariala, man, he brought out, you know, when I got to visit him a couple months ago, and, you know, he was talking, man, you know, the brothers were around, and, you know, he was talking about why Esau would not dump the dollar. And that does make sense, because he did state, if Esau dumps the dollar or does away with the dollar, he's fucking himself. And really that right there is a sign like, oh, he's ready. Because the dollar is the only thing that keeps America in power, aside from oil. But you see what they've been doing over there with Syria and everything, and whoever the fuck else, you know, Russia, they're making alliances with these other nations over oil. They're charging less. Today, it just said on the news, man, that the oil reserves of America is at an all-time low since like 1985. It's like costing like $383 now, or $389, something like that, man. But you know what? Let me go over here. But you know, the elder said, man, like if Esau dumps the dollar, that's it. That's a huge indicator that he's ready. But until then, he's not going to dump the dollar. Okay? But now you see how he's working. You know, you see how he's working with the CBDC, right? Salaki, let me just pull in this place. And I'm tired of driving around and getting this weak signal. But you know, the CBDC is the big topic going around the world. You know, like a beach ball, right? But with the CBDC, they're going to do away with, you know, the dollar bill. They're going to use a digital currency. You got people trying to get into crypto. What's this guy? You know, I think he was one of the founders and one of the first to like really profit off of it. He was killed, or he was like sliced. He was like cut up into pieces or something like that. This happened like a couple weeks ago. You know, whistleblowers are getting killed. You know, because they're revealing that you look at China, and they I can't remember what program of cryptocurrency they started using. I can't remember the name anymore. But with that system that they set up, well, here's the thing: they're telling people over here that the reason why we need to switch to digital currencies is because China's been occupying it for a minute, and it's giving them a higher status than America. China's been doing better than America, I think, but it has nothing to do with their currency system. You know, they ended up with China's system. They ended up implementing a social status, a social system with the digital currency that they have in place. And it was talking about like they actually had already, like within 6 months of, you know, setting off their digital currency system, like within 6 months, you had like over 66,000 people's public records put in public places to shame them because they weren't getting on this thing. You know, and that's what's coming to America. You know, these are very powerful indicators to let us know that the end is there. You know, we know it's going to lead to the MOTB, the Mark of the Beast, the RFID chip. We know it's going to lead to that. All right. But then you see that the World Economic Forum talking about implanting the digital chip so you can use the currency. I don't know who said it on here, but it was a question, and it was actually a commercial about would you implant an RFID chip into your hand if you were to get $2,000 a month for it. That's the motive right now. But you have these other camps, it's Salakia, man, but you have these other camps talking about it's not the RFID chip, it's not the chip. You know, the MOT's not the chip. It's sin. But then why is this chip the face of the news? Why is everybody else catching on but these camps? That's silly, man. You know, Israel, well, that's not silly. You got blind leaders that just doing this shit for their own selves, man. They swoop it up to vanity. But the whole face of the earth is talking about digital currency. Like 1,000 banks, like 99 central banks already got their system set up for digital currency. All right, you got like 18 countries. No, there's more than that. Man, I dare say like 55 countries are that are you know, they've set up a FedNow system. You know, you're gonna have to check my stats, but it's up there, man. The numbers are up there. But definitely go back and check my stats. I already know my numbers are already butchered, but it's to the point that it's making a statement. You know. See, like I said back then, I personally thought certain things that would happen. I was like, oh shit, it's coming now. And every day I was waiting, and like, is it going to be today? Is something going to happen today? Is something going to happen today? You know, for a period of time, I'm not even caring about the period of time, but I was by myself, you know, a few years ago when I've moved up to where I was at back over here, you know, before I moved where I'm at now. But I was by myself for about a year. And, you know, the whole see, you know what, hit. And they had on the news the toilet paper was causing this shit, this and that. And I went to Walmart shortly after, man, and I remember I went in there and it was chaotic. And it gave me some fright because something had happened to me while I was by myself for the time that I was. So I was not confident at all, man. I really wasn't. I thought the Lord was going to kill me. I thought this is how I go out, by myself, and I'm going to get killed. But see, as time went on, which 3 years later, 4 years later, 3 years later, you know, things still seem to be operating, you know, in a gradual manner. But who's to say how I would have reacted had you know, the end been at that time? You know, would I have been prepared? And this is a question you know, that you should ask yourself too. You know, would I have been prepared? You know, was I where I need to be that I could ultimately trust in Yahweh Hashem and immediately call on him and trust him fully? You know? And so that's what our experiences in this faith should be teaching you. All right? Because we've had to suffer a lot. We've had to sit and wait. We've had to be in the fire, you know. But when you react hastily in something, or when you jump out, you don't know the outcome of it. You know, you jump too soon. All right, and that's what happened with a lot of people, or happens to a lot of people. A lot of relationships fail over that, man. All right, a lot of people's lives fail over or end because of the failed patience. You know, there was a clip, and I wish, Lord willing, I could post it on my channel if I find it. There was a clip, you know, these two, you know, Judite men were making a reenactment of Yahweh Shai. You know, it said Jesus, but of Yahweh Shai, looking out for him, looking out for the man. And the man's on a staircase, you know, on a short little front porch of apartments. And around the corner, you know, you got to imagine, like, there's a staircase, and he's looking, you know, away from the apartments. So down that corner of the apartment complex, it was he was reenacting being Jesus. And Jesus sees around the corner, but that guy that's sitting on the stairs can't, because right down those steps is a corner of wall, so he can't see what's coming around that wall. But when you look at around the wall, there's another Judite man with a bat, getting ready to smash the guy's head in. And he's just holding the bat, getting tired, waiting for that guy to come out the steps, just waiting. But you know, Yahweh shot, you know, Jesus, you know, I'm gonna say Jesus for now. Jesus is looking around the wall, and he's looking at the guy that's sitting on the stairs, getting frustrated. But he's not telling the guy, like, hey, you gotta, you know, hey, this is all he's doing. Wait, not yet. Keep waiting. And the guy's standing there getting tired. He's getting annoyed. You know, he's But that guy that's around the corner waiting for him to, you know, bash his head in is still there. Well, about 2 minutes go by, and you should already know where this is going. The guy with the bat gets tired of waiting for the guy to hit him on the head with the bat, and he walks away. And just when that guy on the steps is about to give up and go back inside, you know, Jesus around the corner, Yahweh Shai, is like, come on. And he walks, and he's fine. You know, you don't know what could happen, man. You know, in your last moments, or on those times that, you know, you look back and you're thinking about giving up. You know, you don't know what the Lord had intended for you. Now, we do know, you know, mercy, man, works in so many ways. But that's not to say, or to give you an excuse to abandon your post, or what you should, or abandon the work that you're commanded to do. Because, again, you know, the scriptures do say, woe unto them who have lost patience. You know, what will you do? In fact, let me go and get that. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. All right, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 2, or Sirach, chapter 2, and 12. It says, woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth 2 ways. And it talks about faint hands, getting wearied out. Yeah, of course, we're being tired, man. but we pray for the strength every day to get by. Really, you should be looking at it as from a day-to-day outlook, man, because we're not even guaranteed the next day, you know. But when you try to take on more than just one day, or you thinking about like, damn, I'm in this situation that they're trying to do this in the future, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's why it becomes burdensome and you get tired, because you're already worrying about something that hasn't even happened. You don't know what the Lord could do from that time to the time where you're dreading, you know. It says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. See, and look, man, like I said in the beginning, we're here to suffer. You know, whether you want to hear that or not, we're here to suffer. But your job is to be able to stand firmly in that suffering. You know, there was that movie, what is it? I can't remember his name, with Tim Allen, when he had that son that was from Africa or some shit, and he was a white boy and everything. You know, I can't even remember the movie, man. But the kid touched the fire, you know, and you know, Tim Allen he couldn't keep his hand on the fire. You know, the Lord is equipping our body to be able to touch the fire. You know, you got many examples. You know, the easiest one to think about was Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego when they were cast into a physical, actual furnace of fire, and the fire didn't burn them. Now that, you know, that could also represent like their actual strength of their spirit, man. Like, you know, their spirit was on point, so the Lord protected them. All right, the Lord gave, he did what he had to do for their body to not be affected at all. It tells you not even the hairs on their head were burnt. When they came out of that furnace, they couldn't even smell the smell of you know, of anything being burnt. You know, but we know the Lord has given us what we need in this time to endure. Every day, man, is a new day. Every day we got to renew our spirit, but walk with the same integrity from the day before, as far as, you know, the moral upstanding of about following Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But if you do that, then that's going to keep you in the way. All right, the scriptures talk about cleaving to the Lord, and then the Lord he'll cleave to you. All right, so woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands. And it says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Hey, man, you know what? I won't even say anything on that. I'm gonna keep going. Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? Because the Lord is looking for those that had patience, that rehearsed and practiced, all right, his customs. Because a custom is a practice of behavior, and one of the main behaviors that the Lord is looking for is patience. All right. So again, patience goes into having the capacity to accept or tolerate delay with trouble. But the scriptures also say to possess your souls. And, you know, basically, when you look in the word possess, it goes into the word obtain. And that word means, the word possess goes into obtaining by any means necessary. We've been ordered and commanded to, the scriptures say, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, right? I think that's also Sirach 2. All right, but we are here to set our heart aright and constantly endure. And how long, you may ask? We're supposed to do it to the very end. That's why the Lord said, strive unto the truth until the very end, and the Lord shall fight for thee. You are here, again, to suffer. You are here to suffer while working. You are here to learn to not complain, really to justify that you weren't wicked in your past life, because this time we're paying for what we did in our past lives too. Okay? But you are here, and if you're brought into this truth, you're commanded to take your beatings. Okay? You're commanded to take your beatings and then go back to your post. That happens simultaneously though in this faith. You get beat, but you got to keep on going. All right, because like I said, possess your souls. Okay? You're supposed to be you're supposed to be setting yourself fast, setting yourself firmly. All right, that's what steadfast is, being firm, holding your post, your duty. Meanwhile, establishing your mind, which is to set fast and to make firm, so that when the Lord does return with the the real fucking fire, you're going to be able to fight that fire already, because you feeling it. Okay? So, I had, every time I make a lesson, and this is something that I gotta practice with patience. Every time I have a lesson, I have what I want to say, but it never comes out the way I would like it to. Lord willing, that's why I say it's always edifying. But with patience, man, if it's taught me anything, it's ultimately brought me to, I got to learn how to wait better, and I got to learn how to trust. The two things that I've always asked the Lord to teach me, because, I was told this by someone, man, back in 2010. This man said to me, he believed that my faith was going to be tested very greatly, and he was right. Because at that point in time, too, I also thought I had strong faith. I do believe that I have faith today. I've believed this, man, since that time. But it's been tested, and I've always been tested, but there's been times where I've prayed for death because of how painful it was, or but the scriptures tell you to correct yourself from that type of mentality. I'll give you just to relate to the audience, if y'all ever had certain things, like if whoever's been watching, if you've been watching me over the past few weeks, I told y'all about, I had a back injury. I still have it. I'm able to walk now, but for about a week and a half, I couldn't walk. Like, I legit could not fucking walk. And you wouldn't think that, because seeing me on the live yesterday in class, I was walking, but you would think that, like, I was just, I might have been making it up, or, it wasn't that bad, but it was bad, man. I was in the hospital. I had to, I sought out a chiropractor. Now I trust a chiropractor. Well, this one in particular, because this woman fixed me in one session. It was painful. I still had to deal with the pain, but I couldn't get rid of that pain. And she came and turned me, and I was like, oh my God. But it worked. But I was praying the whole time to the Lord, like, Baba Kusha, take this pain away and transfer it another way. But I was talking, this is, we got to learn in patience, man. You got to learn how to not react so hasty like that. Because check it out. I told brothers, and I'm going to tell the audience, when my back got fucked up here within the last couple of weeks, I've been healing for 3 weeks. This will be my 4th week, actually. But in the first and second week, the week prior, I was dealing with something else, and I won't go into that. I'm still dealing with it. But I prayed to the Lord, man. I said foolishly, let me deal with, back pain and body issues. Just take that issue, take this other trial away from me. Baba Kusha, like, please, like, deliver me from it, and I'll deal with the back pain, because my back was hurting. It wasn't hurting the way it was, but it was hurting. I had, brothers was around me when I mentioned it, but I just thought it was just waking up on the wrong side of the bed. So while that pain was hurting, I was praying to the Lord, like, I'll deal with this pain, Baba Kusha, but take away this other test. Like, please. I was being a bitch, I ain't gonna lie. Well, I got this pain from my back, and I regretted it. I fucking regretted it. I thought I was done. I told the elder, man, I told one of the elders I spoke to, I was like, I thought I was done. I thought I was gonna have to get disability. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to walk. I was using a goddamn cane. But that's because I was hasty in my speech. We're learning how to just take what the Lord puts on us. Yeah, you can cry. You're supposed to complain. You're supposed to beg the Lord to forgive and to help and to sustain, to aid, to fight. You're supposed to pray for those things. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shapakatam. But you got to always have a right way about doing it. Is that to say that we're not going to speak hastily or slip with our words at times? No, I don't mean that at all. But there's called something being sincere, and there's also something called being sincerely wrong. And the Lord is teaching us how to be sincerely, is teaching us how to be sincerely right. Because for the longest time, like I said, for the last few thousand years, we ain't been showing it. Okay? We've been assholes and brats, bitches, bastards. We've been tyrants to Yahweh, man. We've been tyrants to Yahweh Shai. So to receive a little chastisement, some rebuke, whether it be through an infirmity, an ailment, physical distress. Well, grace, Paul said, for my grace is sufficient for thee, I know these are redundant, or not redundant, but repetitive videos. But to hear that we have to be able to walk in this life, in this lifestyle, while learning how to heal while wounded, it does help. Because there are things, that I've told brothers that brothers have commended me on about that they can tell I've solidified in my mind, man. Back those years, I wasn't so solidified, man. But there are things that I've told myself since the beginning of coming into this truth and this knowledge. I meditated and I repeated like I was a fanatic, like I was crazy. I said certain things in my head over and over and over and over and over again till like I felt like I was going crazy. I legit thought I was going crazy at times, man, because I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't forget those things. Well, every day, man, you're practicing those values. You're practicing those things so that when the time comes, because the immediate reaction of the world is going to be fright. They're not going to know what to do. Ezekiel says that horror shall be upon their faces. They're not going to know what to do, man. They're not going to know where to go. So the Lord doesn't care about that, though. He doesn't care that they don't know what to do. That's punishable by death. If you don't know what to do in this time, that's punishable by death. All right? See, we're practicing so that when this shit happens, Lord willing, we're going to resort to what we know we should be doing. We're going to immediately humble down. We're going to look down. We're going to look up to the heavens. We're going to pray. We're going to pray our asses off because we know that what's coming is very dreadful. There's no man in this time that's going to deliver himself by his own strength. That's impossible. And not one single person or individual is going to be delivered unless they believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and they've been committing to the way that he told them to do, which was to occupy. All right, occupying is being set in a specific business. That business was the works of the Heavenly Father, preaching to the ministry, preaching to the sheep. All right, feeding the sheep. All right, you getting information and knowledge, revealing the hidden things of dishonesty, condemning the wicked and the unjust, the oppressor, condemning the actual wicked of our people, letting the world know that judgment is coming. The one that created all things is on his way back, and he's going to put all things under his foot and in order and in subjection. And if there's one that is stiff-necked or stubborn among the population, your ass is going to be put out. And the only way to receive grace and his power, because he promised he's not going to destroy the world, man, but he is coming to destroy this continent with fire. And the Lord is so powerful that he can, if you're in the way, you're going to get consumed. The only that movie, the Phoenix with the X-Men movie, the last one they just made, the X-Men Phoenix or something like that. The last battle that takes place in the train with Magneto and the mutants and Phoenix, whatever her name is, Jean. She ends up creating a force field around all of her friends, all the good guys, while everybody else is being destroyed because the destruction was so great. The trains were turning in the air, debris was cutting, killing, stabbing, blah blah blah. That's how it is going to be with the Lord. The Lord's going to put a force field around us, basically, which is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And he's going to protect us because that fire is going to come over us, man. It's going to go through us. All right? You just got to make sure you're protected. Dark Phoenix Tawada. And it says Psalms 27:14, wait on the Lord. That waiting is patience. All right? Waiting is patience. And the Lord did say, what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. And to watch means that you're inspecting something intently, or you're observing or inspecting something intently. That goes hand in hand with possessing your soul, man. You're making diligence. Like the scriptures say, make thy calling and election sure. We're doing everything. We're doing everything we got to do to make sure that when the Lord does come, that he don't look at us and we fucking die. We want to be saved, man. So that's why it's important to keep up, keep a consistent pattern. Shit, man. I know I suffered and struggled with that, man, growing up in this faith. Consistency, man. But hey, even the scriptures talk about it, having a good pattern of works. All right? But that all comes through with it's weird, man. It's really weird when you look at it. That adversity and suffering will teach a man how to trust and wait and be patient. It's really weird to me, But it says, wait on the Lord, Yahweh, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart, thy mind. Because this is what we're looking for right now. this is what we're looking to have strengthened. All right, because this is what you're gonna have. You're gonna have your fights when all hell breaks loose, man. Your mind's gonna be telling you a lot of things, and we need to be able to knock them out. No. Hey, fuck that. No, don't turn back. Keep going. This and that. Stay on the path, like Denzel said. Stay on the path. All right. So be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait. Oh, there you go. Hey, that's beautiful, man. Wait, I say, on the Lord. So while we wait, though, we work. All right. And every man is commanded to work. All right? A porter doesn't just stand idly, you know, and judge based off of empty works, man. He's got the discernment, you know. I'm gonna read that, the water. But through his experience of working and him laboring and him going through whatever set trials he had, he now has a better perception, which doesn't the Lord want to teach a young man to be able to perceive? But he has a perception of things now, and he can cast empathy on those that, you know, he can discern and perceive to be sincere. That's why, like with Great Millstone, you know, we still got people trying to, you know, be a part of Great Millstone. You know, there are still men on the other sides of the line that are being, you know, being tried to see if they really can wait, you know. But the porters are, you know, we were at one point in time, we were at one point in time on the other side of the line as well. All right. But now, because we've gotten that knowledge, we've gotten the insight and basically the blueprint of conduct, you know, which is through the understanding of the scriptures and through the experiences that we went through that align with the Spirit, you know. Now we can assess and be like, okay, you know what? Hey, you know, we'll pray on it. We'll consult. We'll counsel. Hey, well, he is showing these certain good works. You know, same works that other brothers are showing. That the elders are showing. The apostles are showing. The way that they taught this and that. Blah blah blah. Okay, well, you know, set back a little bit more. Just wait just a little bit longer. You know, because the Spirit's always trying, man. The Spirit is always purifying and purging things, man. So you don't know what needs to be worked out of a man before he gets entrance. Which is, you know, with us, you know, we're being purged and getting impurities and dross away from us, you know. That way we can present ourselves as a good shiny vessel, you know. But like the brother said, Elder Apostle Gabar says, repetition is the father of skill. That's why, you know, because I said to a brother yesterday too, man. I was like, I don't want to make another video about patience, man. I was like, because if y'all go on my page, man, that's what a lot of my content is about. Because man, like I said, I've been through some shit, and I feel like I must preach patience all the time, man. At one point in time, I had terrible patience, you know, and brothers have seen, you know, when I came back too, man, they could tell like I'd been working on it, and I would like to believe that as well. And Lord willing, you know, the Lord tries my integrity daily. We know this, but from the way I used to react to now, oh yeah, I can commend that part, but I still got to work on it. We still got to work on these certain attributes. All right. These are fruits of the Spirit. So they're not ingrained and programmed into us yet. So yeah, you're going to have to constantly work on patience to the very end. You're going to have to constantly work on, you know, gentleness. Because again, that, you know, gentleness, man, we don't always want to react like that. We get mad, we get agitated, irritated. But we can't be like that, man. The man of the Lord must not strive, all right, but be gentle, all right? So many things always, and I'm revisiting this because I've seen the Spirit circling back on it. You know, you had this thing, man, with you know, Apostle Tahar, man, about the videos, you know, and, you know, Jake's conducts, you know, it always slips, but we just got to correct. We just got to, you know, make our knees straight again and keep on walking. So that's all I really wanted to say about it, man. 1 Corinthians 9:25, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate. And I love that word. Temperate is self-controlled. All right, you have self-control. All right, good composure. But it says that every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. In all things, there you go. Every man is temperate in all things. You know, we discussed this yesterday in class. Like, you may be lacking on an area, man, but you may be strong in other areas, but you got to fortify that area, man. You can't have, you know, you can't have a weakness. All right. It says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible, man. See, we're not, see, and that right there too, because to be corruptible means that you're willingly dishonest. And we're not trying to be dishonest, man. We're not trying to be liars. We're trying to be sincere about this, man. So, you know, you can tell more than likely, man, you know, today it's getting easier to tell who's really trying and who's really not. You know, those that continue in the spirit, you know, those that continue to walk with the Lord, man, you know, that, you know, if they believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua and they call on those names and they strive about a proper way, well, then they could be the elect, you know. But like I said, let me read this and then I'm going to end it. But like I said in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, Sirach, hold on. This is Sirach 2:14. It says, woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. The scripture is Luke. Yahweh I said, because thou hast been faithful over little. Yeah, it seems like it's a lot because of all the hell we deal with, and we want to fix every problem right then and there, so we try to bring it into another problem when you need to be, you know, fixing things one at a time, you know. But, you know, the scriptures don't ever say about a man giving up in this time. It doesn't. We are commanded to work, you know. So that requires patience. I'll say it like that. Sirach 6:7, it says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. And the Lord's not hasty with us, man. So we can't be hasty. All right? Yeah. Sirach 6:8, for some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. You know, you got, you know, we always talk about being soldiers in this truth, man. Like, a soldier has to be able to trust the soldier fighting next to him. If that soldier's a loose cannon or, you know, or a coward, you know, well, that puts you in jeopardy, because you don't know if he's just going to start firing off shit for no reason, you know, or if he's going to abandon his post and you getting surrounded, you shooting, you know, in a war setting, you around defending, you know, and then you realize someone's coming from your back and this dude ain't nowhere to be found. So, you know, and that's what the Lord is looking for, man. Commitment and loyalty. All right. Habakkuk 2:3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Yeah, because I like to go into that word appointed, man. It goes into a schedule or an agenda, all right, a set time. So I said that at the end it shall speak, and by the time when we get to the end, Lord willing, we're all ready, all right. But it says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, though it lingers, basically wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So scriptures do say to go not to the left nor to the right, man. You're supposed to stay on that path. So patience, man. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it. My phone is literally about to die. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which rule well. Peace and much love, honors and blessings to the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Amen. Pray to the Lord to continue to maintain your cause. And keep on fighting. Ain't the water for tuning in. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai Brakatham. Kwamesha Allah Shalom.